Hey, it's BJ from the Boise Comedy Lounge and headlining this weekend, Friday, March 13th and Saturday, March 14th. I got to check them out last weekend featuring Frashante Wayans, all the way from France. The very funny, hysterical Zach Mama.
Bonjour, everybody. I don't know if anybody knows what bonjour means, but I'm assuming people
You'll definitely get a French lesson courtesy of Zach this weekend at the lounge. Doors are at 6 with the show starting at 7 o'clock. He is not only a hilarious, talented, funny comedian, he's also a talented jazz drummer. You can follow him on social media, Zach Mama. Born and raised France?
Born and raised in France, my friend, and moved to the States when I was 21 to study jazz, and it didn't go very well. So I'm doing stand-up. It's not going well either. So I might quit and just play poker.
He is hilarious. He like your timing and your rhythm for your shows. I want to say that maybe comes from music.
I think it's from the accent, not knowing how to articulate. But thank you, man. Yeah, let's say it's music.
Now, Zach is working on his documentary, and he's couch surfing across 50 states.
Yeah, after the pandemic, I thought I want to go everywhere, see how everybody's doing, because we're stuck, in our homes for so long. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to just go on an adventure and not know what's gonna happen. And I thought the best way to do it was couch surfing, and interview. At the beginning, I interviewed open micers to, see what was going on in their heads. Interviewed people that hosted open mics to see how it was going, the worst stories I've ever heard, or things I've ever seen happen at open mics. I don't know if you know open mics, but that's where comics go every night when they start. Let's be polite. And when they end too. But open mics are it's the worst, man. So I'm making a documentary about them because I love them so much.
I'm sure there are a lot of cool people who have opened up their home to you, who have been so considerate and hospitable. I'm sure you also have a lot of crazy stories.
Oh, there's so many. I would say come to the show if you want to hear some of them. I can write shows for 10 years, but so you're in people's intimacy, right? And you can be a cool person at dinner, cool person on a quick trip, but when you're staying with people for like a whole week, they become themselves, and that's what we're trying to hide all the time, right? When we're public. And so every story is terrible, but it's great at the same time. I won't say where it was, but I was staying with people that produce adult movies.
Okay.
Your mom is in the room, so I'm not going to say more, but she's not with me. She's with you, right? I'm just letting people know. But that was funny how I found out about it. The produced adult movie fights where like a man fights a woman and usually ends up losing, and something happens to him that's about this big. And I was staying with them, and I found out as I was there, because sometimes the internet recommends stuff to your browser, and I was like, oh, I've never seen those, and yeah, I watched everything.
Oh my gosh. I watched one story on YouTube about the Arkansas one. I can't imagine the stories you have.
I forgot about Arkansas. You just reminded me, like, yeah, I get to this place, I'm staying at the club owner's condo, and there's gasoline all over the floor in the basement. So I'm not sure. I don't see it at first because I get there after the first show, and it smells like there's a problem with like gas or something. So we check everything in the kitchen, nothing's leaking, and then we go to the basement and with the other comic, and there's like gasoline all over the floor. And the guy that works for the club put a hole in the lawnmower that was filled with gasoline, and instead of leaving it outside or cleaning it, he just thought, I'll just put it back in, close the doors, and I won't tell anybody that I did that because I don't want to pay for it. We get there, the house is about to explode. So we call the owner, but he just took an edible, and he's like, I'm too fucked up to come help you right now. And I'm like, no, you got to come. There's like, we need your help. We don't know what to do with gasoline. I've never had to deal with it. And you can't, it's hard to breathe, get a headache, and my room was right above. And I was like, is there something we can do about it? And he was like, what, you want me to get you a hotel? I'm paying you less than a hotel would cost me because it was $50 to host that week. I was hosting $50 to host per show. And the headliner was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's just Zach that has a problem with it. I'm cool with it because he's getting paid way more." But before the guy came, he was like, "Yeah, we can't stay here. It's horrible." And then he realized, "Nah, me, I don't want. He doesn't want to lose the money." So I'm by myself. Like, what can we do? Thinking he's gonna offer a hotel room. He's like, "Well, you could quit being a rhymes with baguette." And I was like, "All right, I'll do that." And it worked. Didn't feel anything after that.
Up until last week, was it your first trip to Idaho?
No, it's my third time here. I came first a year and a half ago during around Christmas. Yeah, we were driving our producer's dog. We had a producer for that little tour we did. She wanted to bring her dog from New York to her parents in Denver, and we booked shows around that. So we're like, yeah, we're on tour. Well, the dog was on tour. When we got to Denver, we had booked a show. So we drove from Denver to Boise. It took 13 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I,
it was beautiful, but we drove at night, so we couldn't see anything.
Something I remember from last week, some of your jokes you were like, wow, this worked in Boise. Up in Washington in February, they didn't really get it.
Yeah, because people don't like it when they think you're making fun of people that are not them. A lot of times people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine if it's about me because I understand where you're coming from." But then when they don't have friends from that specific group in Seattle, I don't mention which group, but it's the same car as this. And yeah, some people just don't want you to make them uncomfortable because they don't want to feel like they're racist, you know? Or feel like they're sexist or homophobic or whatever when they all are. They just don't want to feel it. They just want to be it.
Who would have thought a French comedian could be the U.S.'s answer
Hey, listen,
to solve discrimination?
I humbly accept. No, I'm kidding.
My dad's from India, my mom's from the Philippines. A lot of my cousins, I lived in the Philippines. A lot of my cousins and a lot of my friends growing up, they also learned English by watching U.S. shows.
Yeah.
What shows really stick out growing up that would teach you
Um,
English?
so I learned English the same way I learned music, and I'm a jazz drummer. And when you learn jazz, you just listen, transcribe, and try to play it again. Like so, you listen to something, you transcribe, write the notes down or the rhythm, whatever they're doing. Because I played drums, guitar, and piano, so I was doing it on three different instruments. It's trying to get the same articulation, same tone, same everything, same volume, whatever. I would do that with movies. So I watched James Bond, Casino Royale. I loved it so much that I repeated whatever he would say over and over again. And then I started doing it with different movies, like I say in my show, that had the N-word in it, but it was poorly translated. So I had to find out the hard way what it really means and the history behind it. But it's the same with jazz. You learn, you go on stage, you perform, and you make mistakes.
When you came here to the U.S. for school, the school was in Philadelphia?
Yeah,
I'm so curious to know what your experience was in Philly and also living on the East Coast in general, because I know you moved a couple places on the East Coast.
yeah. I love living in Philly. At first, I was in the hood by Temple University on 13th and Diamond. If you're from Philly, you understand it's like a different place. Let's say it like that. And yeah, it just felt dangerous at first because I wanted to walk. I came from Paris, so I was walking around, and at the first night, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk to that jazz club. It's only 20 minutes away." And they're like, "No, don't walk, bro. It's too dangerous." I was like, "No, it's gonna be fine." Like I was like, "This is just rumors." And I start walking, and I start looking around, and I'm like, "Oh, I hear gunshots going to that place in North Philly." And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that's stupid. So I start putting music on and jogging a little bit. And I'm like, if I make it there, I'm never walking again. And like cabs would refuse to drop me off at home at night because they were like, I'm not going that far up. And I was like,
Bro.
it's fine. Just, and it was fine for me because my roommate told me, because I was like, why is everybody afraid of being here or going here? And he was like, "But no, man, don't worry about it. If you look like a prey, you will become one. So just walk confidently." And after I got my third phone stolen. I was like, yeah, I'm not walking again.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bike.
What big plans do you have for 2026 for Zach Mama?
Well, big plans is just yeah, finishing this documentary. I have 15 states left. I'm excited to go to places I've never been to. Every time it's cool because it's like a little discovery. Like Montana, I've heard is beautiful, so I'm gonna try to spend some time there. Meet locals, see what they do, you know. And when you're from Europe, a lot of times people are happy to show you around. When you're from Mexico, they're happy to show you the way out, which I don't support.
I would say you've been to more places in the US than actual Americans.
Yeah, I know. And it's the same thing as jazz musicians. They've played more notes than any other musician has played. It's just about exploring, and not really settling anywhere, but just the search is the fun part. I want to have a place and rest and stuff like that, but the search is really what drives me right now. It will change, I'm just enjoying what I don't have kids or anything, so I'm just like want to enjoy what I can and see as much as I can before going back to living somewhere. And I think it comes from moving that much comes from the first time I signed a lease was in January or February 2020. A couple months later, pandemic. No. So I think it comes from that.
This week's actually the anniversary of that. Zach Mama, thank you so much for your time. So excited for this weekend. Link up with him, Instagram, YouTube, social media. Don't miss him this Friday and Saturday at the Comedy Lounge in Boise. Doors are at 6, show at 7 o'clock. He is hilarious. You're going to have a great time.
If you guys can't make it, go to my website, zachmama.com, and there's all the dates there. I'm rebuilding the website. It looks ugly because I made it, but listen, I'm proud of it.
But hope you have a great week ahead.
You too, brother. See you soon. Thank you.